Book of Revelation, chapter 7.
I am not your robot, I am not a...
Then I met Jesus and seen at the show. I was running with the...
Put your hands in the air for Cardi.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the WINsdom Podcast, where we provide you with the wisdom to win in every area of life. I'm your host, Carrington Brown, aka the Fit Pastor, and today we are going to be discussing a hot topic in the world today: relationships. Yes, relationships. The reason why I feel the need to discuss relationships is because, let's be real, let's be honest, everybody desires to be a part of successful, positive, healthy, and thriving relationships. And the reason why is because we were created as relational beings, which means a big part of us succeeding and feeling like we need to in life is based upon the connections that we have and that we create with other people. Now, there is nothing wrong with us, and it's actually a beautiful thing that we are relationship beings. The only challenge that comes with that is the fact that for a lot of us, we were never provided with an example of what a healthy, a successful, a positive relationship is supposed to look like. Many of our examples were really flawed and gave us the belief that, there is no possible good relationship. There is no possible healthy relationship. And if it is, it only happens to a certain group of people that are within a small percentage of those specific people, right? And so because many of us weren't equipped properly to thrive in relationships, when we do go into relationships, the outcome or the result of that relationship is always the experience of heartbreak. It always is dysfunction, and it's always broken for the most part. And so what I want to do today for you guys is really give you the key to a thriving relationship. Like, not the keys, but give you the one actual key to a thriving relationship. And I know, many people are out here now giving a lot of different tips and a lot of different keys pertaining to relationships on how to do them properly, how to do them successfully. So me giving you this one key is not discrediting any advice or keys that anybody else in the world has given you, because I'm pretty sure if you take what they gave you and apply it, it'll definitely aid you in having a successful relationship. But what I want to do is give you the number one key that I believe, not even number one, the key that is mandatory for having a thriving, healthy, successful relationship. And so the question is, what is the key to a thriving relationship? And the answer is relationships. I know you probably expected something deep, something highly philosophical or theological and a big, long breakdown and definition because of the in-depth, thought-provoking word that was going to be provided. But the simple answer and the key to healthy and successful relationships is relationships. And this is what I mean by that. So relationships are like home, right? And when I say that, what I'm saying is the success of a relationship is depending upon the depth and the quality of the foundation of that relationship. So in order for you to build a proper relationship with someone else, you first, before that, have to build the other two most important relationships, right? When it comes to relationships, I always tell my clients there's levels to this. And if the only thing that you deem or label as a relationship is your relationship with someone else, then you'll miss it and you'll continue to fail in your relationship. So like I said, there's levels to this. And what I mean by that is there are 3 types of relationship in total. So in order to be successful in the next, you have to be successful in the prior, right? And so level 1 as it pertains to relationships, and really is the most important one, and the foundational one, is the relationship with the source, your relationship with God, Jesus Christ. The second one is your relationship with yourself. And the third one is the relationship with someone else. In order for you to have a thriving relationship with someone else, you must have a thriving relationship with yourself. In order for you to have a thriving relationship with yourself, you have to have a thriving relationship with the source. And in order for you to have a thriving relationship with the source, you must be willing to be transparent with the source and allow him to take over your life and dwell in your life fully. So let's talk about this first level, your relationship with the source, your relationship with God, your relationship with Jesus Christ. All relationships, I don't care who you are in this world, any relationship that you have that you're connected to, you desire love to be a part of that relationship. But what we have to understand is that it is impossible for us to have a relationship filled with love if we don't have a relationship with love. Because if you don't have a relationship with love, you won't be able to recognize love. Therefore, you won't be able to receive true love. And so it's mandatory that you get a relationship with God because God is love. And in the Word of God, it gives you the breakdown of the characteristics and qualities of what love is. A lot of relationships are failing, not because people go into relationships with bad intentions, but because people go into relationships with bad perspectives and bad understandings and definitions of the word love. When you talk about love or you hear other people talking about love, people always equate it to a feeling. Oh, love feels like this or love feels like that. Yes, when it comes to love, love has feelings, but at the same time, those feelings can also be experienced in lust and infatuation as well, which are the other steps as it pertains to building a relationship with someone. Right? Infatuation stage is that stage when you first meet someone and it's like all butterflies and rainbows. And then lust is the outcome of a relationship, which is determined by the foundation that you build that relationship on, right? So love, lust, and infatuation all oftentimes feel the same. And so I'm telling you this because I don't want you to define the truth of love as a feeling. Because what love really is a commitment. What love really is sacrifice. What love really is patience, kindness, forgiveness. Like that is what love is. And so it's mandatory for you to get a relationship with God as love so that you can have the true example and definition of what love is and what it actually looks like to love. Because let's be real. If you aren't willing, or let's say it like this, if you cannot or do not have a relationship with the individual that loves you unconditionally, that will sacrifice and have sacrificed a life for you, then how would it be possible for you to build an authentic, intimate relationship with somebody whose love for you is in the beginning going to be conditional and that has an expectation of you to give something back in return? So it's mandatory for us to get our relationship right with God so that we can have the proper foundation in place to build a relationship with ourselves and then with someone else. So now let's talk about the second level, the relationship with yourself. To know thyself and to love thyself is to position thyself to thrive. When you love yourself, when you know who you are, when you're connected to your identity and you're walking in that, you're talking in that, and you're being that, you're positioning yourself to thrive and be successful in every area of life. So also when you have a thriving relationship with yourself, it positions you in a place of confidence and willingness to implement the standards and expectations needed to be in a positive and healthy relationship with someone else. But you can't have a positive relationship with someone else if you don't have that with yourself. It's mandatory that you deal with yourself, you work on yourself, you grow yourself, you develop yourself into somebody that you would desire to be in a relationship with so that you won't be in a rush to build a relationship with someone else. A lot of people jump from relationships to relationships simply because they don't like themselves enough to be with themselves. Now, I want you to let that simmer. Matter of fact, I'm going to say it again so it really simmer. A lot of people jump from relationship to relationships because they don't like themselves enough to be with themselves. And it's mandatory that you fall in love with yourself so that you position yourself to when you come in contact with somebody else, once again, you'll have the confidence to implement the standards and expectations on them for you that you also walk in for yourself in yourself, if that makes sense. So what happens is for a lot of us, we have higher expectations of other people than we do for ourselves. And so we expect other people to treat us, to love us, to care for us better than we actually do for ourselves. And so I challenge you, if you're listening to this, I challenge you to not allow anybody else to do more for you than you're willing to do for yourself. I challenge you to not allow somebody to pay for you to get your hair done, pay for you to get a haircut, buy yourself clothes, buy yourself shoes, get your hair done, get your nails done, take you on a trip, buy your food, take you out on a specific date in a specific place. I challenge you not to allow somebody to do that for you if you're not honestly wholehearted willing to do it for yourself. Because if you do, you'll position yourself to begin to look at them as an idol and put the expectation of your happiness, of your joy, and of your peace on that person when really that's a responsibility of God and yourself, not for somebody else. Hey, beautiful people, I just wanted to pop in real quick and just remind you all that in the description box below, there is a link for you to take advantage of the free 15-minute consultation that I am currently giving out. Yes, I love doing this podcast and I do want this podcast to help, but I also understand that for a lot of individuals, a podcast is not always the answer. Some of us need and truly desire more work and more focus and more attention in thriving and elevating from where we are in life. So I advise all of you guys to click the link below so that you can take advantage of this free 15-minute consultation, and let's truly begin walking on the journey of creating the life that you desire and deserve. So once you reach a point of really having the necessary relationship with yourself that you need to have, you will truly void the possibility of getting connected with someone else that will treat you less than you deserve or treat you better than you deserve, because you'll be treating yourself like the king, like the queen that you are, and you will be loving yourself in the way that you deserve and also the way that you desire from someone else. Right? So I challenge everybody listening to this. I challenge you, if you are in a relationship and you truly don't love yourself the way that you need to, that you're supposed to, you truly don't know who you are, you truly don't know what your goal is, you truly don't know what your desire is, you truly don't know or aren't connected with your passions, what your gifts are, and what you really desire to do in life, I challenge you to pause that relationship and begin to spend more time with yourself, focusing on yourself, to grow yourself and developing yourself to where you know you. Because once you know you, it positions you to explain and express the real you to somebody else. By you knowing you and truly loving yourself properly, you position yourself with the level of confidence needed to be transparent with the other person, which will give them an opportunity to truly love you. And I'm not even going to go into that because I'll be on here forever if I go into that. I'll say that for another podcast, right? But transparency is important in all relationships. Never forget that. Now let's talk about the third level of relationships, which is the relationship with someone else. The success of an external relationship is dependent upon the standards and expectations you set in them. If you don't determine the direction of a relationship, then the relationship will determine the direction of you. If you don't say, hey, I want this for this relationship, I want that for this relationship, in this relationship, I desire to look like this, be like this, feel like this, and go like this, then the relationship, just like a lot of our lives, let's be real, is going to do to us whatever it wants to do to us because we don't implement the standards, expectations, or boundaries in it necessary for it to go and look like the way that we desire for it to go and look like. So once you reach that point where you do truly love yourself, it'll position you to implement the standards and expectations in the relationship with somebody else. And the reason why that's so important is because people will always treat you how you treat yourself and also how you allow them to treat you. And if you don't love yourself properly, then you will allow people to treat you like you believe you deserve to be treated rather than the royalty that you truly do deserve to be treated like. Because let's be real, all of us are kings, my brothers. All of my ladies that's listening, all of y'all are queens. And when you're a king and you're a queen, there's a specific expectations and standard that you put on the people in your environment, but also that you walk in yourself, towards yourself, for yourself. So in order for us to position ourselves to have a thriving relationship, we have to thrive in our relationship with God. We have to thrive in our relationship with ourselves, because until we see ourselves properly, we will not have the confidence to implement those standards and expectations in a relationship with someone else, which will position us to allow this relationship to go however it wants to go. So once again, beautiful people, the key to thriving, the key, not the keys, the key to thriving, having a happy, having a healthy, having a joyful, having a peaceful, having a successful relationship is your relationship with God, is your relationship with yourself. And by thriving in those two relationships, you'll position yourself to thrive in your relationship with someone else. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the WINsdom Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Carrington Brown, a.k.a. The Fit Pastor. You can find me on all social media outlets. I'm at The Fit Pastor at all of those. If this podcast is helping you in any type of way, like, comment, subscribe, share it with friends, family members, individuals that you know that could also be benefited by listening and tuning into this. I look forward to speaking to you guys once again next week. And until then, y'all have a blessed and phenomenal week. Peace out.